28? Yeah, I'm for sure this time this is episode 28 of Trev TV. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, it's too sweet. Anyway, I've been sitting on this one for a couple days, intentionally. And it's more or less just so I could figure out, because I'm not going to lie, this was really, really, really well written. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I genuinely mean that as a compliment. The fucking English skills on this, oh, it's amazing. Anyway, after 2 days of mustering it, thinking on it, marinating it, this is my reaction to Chris Adler's statement about being let go from Lamb of God. So for those of you who don't remember, in July, actually, to be honest, the day we found out the gender of baby number 2, out came the statement that Chris Adler and Lamb of God were parting ways. And this is more just a follow-up to that, because Chris finally released a statement on it. Finally broke his piece and finally said something. And, I mean, good on him for giving it some time. I mean, to rush right into it and say, hey, yada, 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 might not have been the best thing to do. And just letting it sit and grow for a bit was probably the best thing for him to do. But anyway, let's talk about it. With me on this video is the transcript from blabbermouth.net. I wanted to take Loudwire's because initially I heard it from Loudwire first, but you know what? I didn't really care where I printed it from. It all said the same thing. So the only thing that isn't going to reset here, that isn't in print or online, is my thoughts to it. But in the beginning, it starts about how he felt it was time to address the many questions being asked about the departure. He did mention that he was part of this band for 26 years. That's a long time to give to one band. I mean, most bands don't even make it that long. Most guys in bands don't even see that long in the same band. So 26 years, that ain't nothing to sneeze at. Which he called living the dream, and it probably was living the dream. And they gave a lot on the personal level to live that dream, and this is where they're at. He states that he'll always love each member of the band for believing in him and agreeing to take on the world. They managed to find some love in the machine, but in turn it took things that cannot be recovered. Okay. And then he states that he did not leave the dream. He did not make the decision to leave his life's work. Truth is that I am unwilling to paint by numbers. I'll get into that one. He wished all his brothers the best in their continued ventures, and guaranteed you'll hear from him again. Here's one I almost laughed at, actually. There's an ambiguous concept in our world of selling out. He cannot define that outside of his own personal understanding, but know that being trapped in the creative formula and or playing the same song 10,000 times did not bolster his love for playing. He's never been one to phone it in. He'd rather mow the grass. We'll get into that one too. On the topic of selling out, though, he does mention he has 2 Grammys on his mother's mantelpiece, and he thinks she deserves a 3rd. So the party ain't over. It was not a given choice in this, and my dream is alive. Feel free to say hello if you see me mowing the grass. It never gets old. Appreciates each and every one of you. Thank you, Chris. P.S. I may or may not be in touch with Kyle Thomas and Myron about an Oakland Raiders concept album. This is neither confirmed or denied. An Oakland Raiders concept album? Really? That would be awesome, actually. Anyway, let's talk about the finer points I said we were going to talk about. So to the point, he did not leave the dream. Well, no, we know that. It's said in the statement in July that you and the band were parting ways. So we know you didn't leave. It was probably a mutual thing, like, hey, I'm out. Okay, see ya. Truth is that I am unwilling to paint by the numbers. Now, I really didn't understand what he meant there. But after reading the whole thing, because this is very read between the lines kind of thing, I'm willing to paint by the numbers. Goes, in my mind, the way I look at it, because Lamb of God has a formula. You can follow it on any of their last couple records after Ashes of the Wake. Sacrament, Wrath are perfect examples. Third song on the album is always the single, always the first single. And because the drums are always 200 plus BPMs, there's always fast picking and whatever else. I'm not saying they sound like they recycle themselves, but they don't really deviate all that much. I mean, Wrath I thought was probably the furthest they deviated from themselves ever. And then went right back to what worked. So I can see where he's coming from on the paint by the numbers. Meaning, instead of being stuck in the groove and doing the same thing and not wanting to go outside the box and experiment a bit, they're staying confined. I get it. It ain't broke, don't fix it. And I get his point too. I mean, why do you want to do the same thing over and over again? The whole point of every new album, of every new song is to sound different, right? I mean, you don't want to be like Slayer and release the same album 4 times, right? You don't want to be like Nickelback and recycle all your work, because that would just suck, and we don't need more Nickelbacks. And here's the one I had to chuckle at. There's this ambiguous concept in our world of selling out. Now, I've always been a firm believer. If you're in a band and you're making money doing what you're doing, you've already sold out. Whether you're famous or not, that's beside the point. Whether you go by the traditional definition of selling out, which is changing your style to fit into the mass, that's not a concept. But you make $1 off of one t-shirt sold, you've sold out. You might as well bury your heads in sand, go to Norway and make a pop band, because can't nobody touch your black metal shit, right? But being trapped in the creative formula, well, again, if it's the same formula, it's not really creative, it's instinctual. So there's really not much change in the same creative formula. And I get it, playing the same song 10,000 times, day in, day out. Yeah, it probably gets a little repetitious. I mean, who wants to be a lifer, right? But at the same time, you could always do like a Foo Fighters thing and make a 3-hour set where you're playing different shit from different albums. Expand your catalog. You've got enough songs to do it. Throw in B-sides. Who gives a fuck? But either way, those are the bigger points, I thought. And it really sounds like it's a huge case of it's not you, it's me. As much as I hate to put it in a boyfriend-girlfriend kind of structural way, but that's what it sounds like. Despite the fact he gets an A++ for amazing English writing skills. I'll give him that. But one thing that he did say that is very true is you will hear from him again. I mean, he's playing in the supergroup Hail, so they'll probably be around. You'll probably hear from them. He's got his management company that he launched with Jason Leckberg called Kintsugi Management. So he's probably busy with that. And then he's got drum clinics in India coming up next month. So he's keeping himself busy. He's still doing things, and that's awesome. I mean, good on the man for keeping himself moving. It still sucks that, he's not going to be in Lamb of God, but what do you do, right? Right. Overall, though, my reaction to this, as much as it was good to see it, as much as it was good to hear from the guy, I don't know if we really needed it. I mean, I'm not giving him shit for saying anything. But did we, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know if we needed to read it to hear it. The fact is, what's done is done. Art Cruz is in the band now. Chris Adler isn't. We're just going to keep moving on with our lives, and when the new Lamb of God album drops, I guarantee I'm buying it. And for better or worse, we'll see where we go from there. So that was my reaction to Chris Adler's essay, and ultimately this was episode 28 of Trev TV. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I mean, this is only my interpretation of it. If you guys picked up anything different from this, let me know what you thought. I mean, maybe I'm just looking at it in a different perspective than anybody else. Maybe I'm not seeing in between the lines as well as I think I am. But either way, let me know what you think. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up. If you want to, there's that little red button over there. Hit that thing. We're very close to 50. Let's make it happen. If you want to, you can find me on Facebook at Trev's TV. You can find me on Instagram at Rockstar Trev TV. Moving forward, as has become the norm with this channel, we'll think of something. We always do. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be on the lookout for more videos from the Trev. Later.